think you want me, and I guess in a way you do. Holding my breath, unraveling emotions. I need some space to think this through. Call me all night long. Try to give you hints and a hard to see. Right on the line, no. Losing it on you's the last thing I need. If I'm honest, I'll just make you cry. And I don't wanna fight with you. I would rather lie to you. I promise now's not the right time. Yeah, I don't wanna fight with you. I would rather lie to you. Look away so you won't see, cause the pain is in my eyes. Feels like I could break at any moment and shatter your insides. If you feel my mind, call me all night long. Try to give you hints and a hard to see. Right on the line, no. Losing it on you's the last thing I need. If I'm honest, I'll just make you cry. And I don't wanna fight with you. I would rather lie to you. I promise now's not the right time. Yeah, I don't wanna fight with you. I would rather lie to you. I would rather lie. I would rather lie. I don't wanna fight. I would rather lie to you. If I'm honest, I'll just make you cry. Yeah, I don't wanna fight with you. I would rather lie to you. Call me all night long. Try to give you hints and a hard to see. Right on the line, no. Losing it on you's the last thing I need. If I'm honest, I'll just make you cry. And I don't wanna fight with you. I would rather lie to you. I promise now's not the right time. Yeah, I don't wanna fight with you. I would rather lie to you. I would rather lie. I would rather lie. I don't wanna fight. I would rather lie to you. I'm honest, I'll just make you cry. Yeah, I don't wanna fight with you. I would rather lie.
Hello and welcome, one and all, to the end of what has been an enthralling week here at SLR, the end of a Formula One week of SLR, may I say, and it is of course the turn and the chance for these Tier 1 boys to show us what they've got. It is of course Baku. We've already had Tier 3 and Tier 2 this week, and it has been quite an entertaining race for sure for both tiers. And I'm sure the Tier 1 will live up to its name of being the cream of the crop of SLR today. Of course, covering the action as always is myself. and the wonderful Mr. Ocean Chief. Hey, Chief.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, glad to be back on the comms. It seems like we're never out of the comm booth these days. Yeah, so let's have a look at it. We're heading into round 6 at Qatar, Lucille. Driver standings on screen. Danny Co 80 points. Tenari 67 points. And Justin, after that win last week, has got himself up into contention. He's got 63 points on the board. Constructors looks a wee bit different though. McLaren are stretching out a lead. They're almost twice the amount of points P2. So McLaren 134 at the top of the standings there. Ferrari, I believe that's 67. I'm wearing my glasses, but I still can't see what that says on my screen. AlphaTauri in P3, so they overtook Williams to take that P3 spot. But yeah, it looks like Constructors is pretty much wrapped up, and we're only heading into the halfway point of the season. But yeah, let's get down to the track. The session has started, and we've, as you've alluded to, we've had some great racing this week already, and I'm very interested to see a certain Crawley voice and how he fares in Tier 1. He's won Tier 3. He became P4 after a closely contested podium race. And then today, in with the big boys. What do you reckon? Crawley to win today, maybe?
Well, listen, I think that's quite a tall order to take a win in Tier 1, especially when you've got the likes of Dan the Man here and Justin, and of course McKender. So yeah, I don't think he'll be getting a win. He probably won't even get a podium, but I am expecting good things from Crawley because not only has he got that raw 1-lap pace up to scratch, but he's actually managed his race pretty well as we've seen very much so in Tier 3. And another wee guy I'm going to be watching is the P11 is Naiku. He did a 20.5 in the Tier 3, was it? Tier 3 or Tier 2, whenever that was, which was I think it was Tier 3. It was a fantastic time for Tier 3 level. But I think we're expecting to see these. I think it's be fair to say we're expecting the Tier 1 guys to get, 20s, even maybe dip into the 19s. So, yeah, I think that's a fair bit off what Crawley can do, Chief.
Yeah, and just on that, we do look at it every week. This is the first week that I remember where the Tier 3 and Tier 2 time, the pole time in each tier was so close. Both won 20.5 with our gamer just edging out Nikoi on Tier 3. Our gamer Tier 2 pole time was 20.519. So yeah, I'm expecting low 20s. Possibly there is rumours of a 19. Danny Co was speaking of that earlier in the week, so I wonder if he's the man to do it, as Justin is about to set a time here. He is about to cross the line, and it's a 120.5. So, I mean, we were talking about that. That's just shy of the Tier 2 pull time. Probably shy of the Tier 3 pull time as well, but that's a first lap from him. And we've got a few other times coming in. Nikoi 20.7. He actually was the pool guy in Tier 3 with a 20.5, so he does have time left in the tank. But this track is not even rubbered in yet, so we're going to see, I think, massive improvements, and that 19 might be on the table today.
Yeah, and just on that, the Naiku's quality time, if I can remember, Chief, that far back to Wednesday, I think it was a 20.539, something like that. So, at Naiku's Tier 2 or Tier 3 pole was just faster, like by a fraction than Justin's, I believe, which again just shows you just how far the Tier 3 guys have come up in terms of getting those times, those raw quality times. Also, people with their eagle eyes would have noticed there in the start of the stream when Chief was posting up all the data that the last time out here in Tier 1, the person that took pole was Kiko, and he did a 20.34 something, 342 or 345. So we will see if we can beat Kiko's Tier 1 pole of 20.3, and if we can indeed get into that quite tantalizingly close at the moment, the gamer who currently takes pole, that 1 minute 19s. We're gonna find out, Chief. But also worth pointing out that we have another a reserve driver. He's not assist. A reserve driver of Codian, RRK Lawrence for some. A late addition to the reserve role. And who else is the reserve chief? Gamer? Is Gamers or is
yeah, our Gamer and Christian, yeah.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Christian and Gamer. Oh, okay. So again, anyone that hasn't been keeping up with the action, and how dare you not keep up with the action on SLR? Yesterday in Tier 2, it was Gamer and Christian battling it out all the way from the start to the finish here in Qatar. And it was, pretty much Gamer was kind of controlling the race pretty much well. Of course, he did get himself that 5 second time penalty, which was much to our disappointment as we expressed live on stream. We were hoping that he would get that. But yeah, these guys have signed up today, which is to all our benefit. And they're going to continue their fight from Tier 2 into Tier 1, Chief, which is going to be really exciting to see how they do.
Yeah, definitely a good addition. This is the top tier 2 guys in here, and Kay Lawrence as well. Yeah, we know he can be very fast. He can rub elbows with the best of them. I did see him in chat. He is invalidating here. I don't know if on purpose or not, but he's definitely exploring the limits of the track on those hard tires. But he was saying. Oh, actually, sorry, I was on board with Expresso there, so excuse me, Kay Lawrence. But yeah, Kay Lawrence, he is on hard, so he did say before the race he's not had really much practice at this track, so I don't know what we can expect from him. I mean, maybe he's sandbagging a little bit. We know he is pretty pacey and gets up to speed pretty quick, so we'll see what he does, but I'm thinking he might start at the back of the grid just because he is a reserve and he's not familiar with this track as much as others around him.
Yeah, I mean, Qatar is not one of those tracks where you don't really want to come in blind because, I mean, it is a really high speed track, and there are some corners when you first arrive on the track and you've never been on it before, or let's say you haven't been on it much, you think surely I have to brake here when you actually don't. So it can, as we know, lack of practice anywhere will obviously bleed lap time, but I think Qatar is one of them where it really will expose the guys that are dialed into the track and those who aren't.
Yeah, absolutely, Bob. I think this is one of those tracks. It's a bit of an exception. Most tracks you want to get a lot of race experience, but this track you can really dial into TT, and that's where you can find a lot of lap time. And it'll improve your race pace as well. But one thing on that is if you don't do a bit of race practice, you won't know that this track is very heavy on fuel use. And it catches a lot of drivers out. I mean, I remember racing here and literally going max fuel because I don't know why, I just tend to burn through fuel a lot faster than others. And on this track, I think I was like 3.5 over. But I think generally speaking, it's like 2.5, depending on how good you are with fuel, 3 over. But if you go into this thinking I'll just go one lap over, you might get caught short and have to do a lot of lifting, which will obviously impact on your race.
Yeah, I mean, I did. Sorry, Max, just navigating the traffic here. I just took a wee notepad down whenever I was racing, and I would put 54.9 kg, which I believe is 2.2 laps over. And I remember we were having that chat discussion, Chief, back then when we were full time, and you were like, "How the hell are you able to run so much less than me?"
Yeah.
And I'm assuming, man, it must be you just kind of rev out your car a lot, but. The other thing that people may not know if they come in blind is, as you rightly pointed out, the race that you'll need to overfuel. But in quali, your battery will run out before the end of the quali lap. If you don't know the little trick to make it last, there are many different ways. I believe, well, not many, but from what I know of, there are 2 different strategies for conserving battery in quali, and I think generally most people go with the double right-hander one. If anyone doesn't know, you just turn your battery off.
Yeah, and that's only these are things you pick up by putting the time in, getting to know the track, getting to know the different every track has its different challenges, but like you say, this is one of those tracks where you will run out of ERS on a hot lap unless you switch it off at select points during the track. Some people deciding not to do that, but definitely can find a few tenths there, and that's what this track's all about, just finding that extra time. As we are starting to get these second runs from drivers. Justin's on the back end of the course. He's heading into sector 3, and and there's Nikau. And Justin, he coming out of that penultimate corner, slid out and has abandoned that lap time. So I didn't know if that was up or down, but yeah, Nikau in the background, 20.4, beating even his pole time in Tier 3, and that takes pole for now in Tier 1.
Yeah, that's as I was going to say. I was going to point out he did beat him. Of course, beat his time. Christian is on a lap going around the double right-hander to see how he does. And I think I mentioned it yesterday, Chief, about just how notoriously difficult some of these corners can be, and it's very easy to invalidate. But Christian is just setting a perfect sector 1 so far, and eyes firmly fixed. It's my little thing I like to say. On that delta time, top right is Joe, as Meepo takes provisional pole, but Christian here is improved by just over 3/10. 7.654. This is really going to contend for these top 3 positions. If you can just navigate these last 2 corners, it's easy to run it there where Justin did. And then, of course, this last corner is not a gimme. You have to carry as much pace as possible. Of course, controlling the back end and not running out wide, DRS activated. And it is hoping you've just done enough to conserve battery to cross the line. And Christian bangs it into the P3. There we go, Chief. So we've got 2 Tier 2 drivers on the top 3 spots as it sits. And at the moment, Dan the Man and Mac have not set a lap yet. But I can see Danny is on his out lap now, Chief. So yeah, we are waiting, of course, to see what they can do. The McLaren boys, of course, pretty much dominating the constructors, and of course, as you said, Dan the Man leading the field in the drivers' title. Sorry.
Jim Wong has joined. That was a bit random.
Who?
Jim Wong. Remember that guy?
Jim Wong, he used to be from DMR, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, so hopefully he doesn't take a seat, because, oh yeah, he's left the session. But yeah, Danny Co is about to go on his hot lap, his first hot lap attempt, I believe. Bob, do you want to take this one?
Oh, Dan the Man? Oh my goodness, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be hard to try and navigate this. Dan's probably going to go too fast for me here, but yeah, again, that's... oh, there we go. Validated already. That's done. So he's going to be racing back. Right? I mean, he's literally just demonstrated what I said a few moments ago, how it is so easy to invalidate here. Yeah, and a rare mistake from Dan the Man.
Yeah, not a usual place you see people invalidating on the exit of the first corner, but yeah, I mean, this track, all about limits. He was obviously trying to wring the time out of that car and pushed it a little bit too far, I think. McKender's, I would say he was in the pits. He's coming out of the pits, so he is going to get a time on the board, hopefully. I was suspecting he might go for the last to first challenge again, but recently we've seen him actually put in some effort in qualifying. Although I did hear him say he's got some throttle issues, similar to your own, Bob, so hopefully he's had those fixed in time for this race.
You heard him say that?
Well, I read him say that.
Yeah. I nearly I nearly choked on my apple juice there. I think you heard Mac. Nobody hears Mac.
Apple juice, man, that's very healthy.
I love apple juice. There's just we can't advertise. Sure, we can't. No, we can't. Maybe we can. I can't. Well, it doesn't even matter if we can because I can't remember the name of it. But it's like Green Grocers or something, and it's a green bottle, and you get it in that shopping centre that starts with the letter T.
We should get a sponsorship from White Lightning or someone.
Yes.
Scrumpy Jacks.
So who are we waiting on? Everyone's in the pits. It's unfortunate that I am on speakers because I have to basically turn my volume in the game down to more or less 0 because you'll hear it over the mic. But yeah, Mac is crawling around. Lawrence is actually on an out lap on hards. I think he might well, as you said, Chief, be looking to start at the back. But then again, you never know. Crystal's on an out lap. Crystal's on an out lap. Sorry, I cut off there. I'm really impressed to see how Crawley does. I'm impressed. I'm really keen to see how Crawley does, and I'm really impressed with Gamer's time at 20.2. I know he was practicing. Him and Crawley and Eagle Ghost are all in the same VC. And do you know who's crew chief for them, Chief?
Oh.
Lepson.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So they're all going to crash.
Yeah. I mean, that time is super impressive. 20.2. It's 3/10 and he won than his pole time yesterday. And I know that he's itching to just make amends for yesterday. He lost out on the win to Christian. So today is like round 2 of that battle, so he's definitely come out tops so far, but as we know, the race can be a different matter. I'm looking at McKender here. He had to
Yeah.
make his way through traffic there. I wonder if has he backed off out of this lap
No.
already? Is he
I don't
slamming
think
in?
so. Yeah, because he did a purple sector 1 chief, and he's coming round in the sector 2. This is definitely not backing off. He is certainly sending it here. He's really pushing, and he's done a purple sector 2. So this is looking pretty tasty so far for McKender. Fox retired. Riyadh invalidated his final run, so he might not get another run. These last 2 corners are absolutely brutal if you're up on your time, because you can lose everything here. Not so much with Mac. DRS opened, and is this going to take pole off Mac off Gamer? And it isn't. He must have lost time. Maybe I'm going to stop trusting this purple sector thing, because he was well up. But who else have we got?
It's definitely bugged, that purple thing. McKender, though, I think that traffic might have put him off. It does kind of distract you a little bit, especially in the midst of those the infield part of the course. Maybe that put him off a bit.
As it stands, a tier 3 driver in the guise of Naiku is currently faster than McKender, 3-time tier 1 champion, Justin, like multiple time runner-up tier 1 leader, and then Tunaman, and Danny. He's even leading Danny.
That is interesting. Yeah, I think this track is like people, the people who spend more time, dialing into it, get big investments back from it. It gives them a lot of confidence in sessions like this to go even faster. And our gamer's definitely on it today. 20.2, that is super impressive.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Justin and Christian here. Justin about to cross sector 1. Is he up on his time? He is. He's up just over a 10th. Christian about to cross sector 2. Is he up on his time? Oh, he's matched his time. He's matched it. So this might have to be a mega ending to his sector 3 time if he wants to prove Justin is indeed still got that carrying that speed into sector 2. Here we go, sector 2. What's it going? He's up again, 2/10, 5.43. Oh, this is putting Justin nicely up into this P3 battle at the moment, maybe even P2. If he can really nail these last 2 corners, this could be pole. But of course, we need to keep an eye on Gamer and Meepo as well. But Justin is just about to cross the line here. DRS open. And is it enough to take a pole at Qatar? Oh, no, it's not. It's just P3. But where is Meepo? Meepo is up on his time marginally. But it is enough at the moment that would jump a Gamer, I believe. I think. Or it's going to get him very close. This might be pole for Meepo. There it is. There's
my
pole.
word.
He took it because Gamer's done. So the only person I can see can do it would be Tunaman, and not Tunaman, sorry, because he doesn't do it. He's only in P2. Where's Danny? Is Danny on a lap?
He's out. Yeah, he's invalidated, so he's backed out of his lap. K. Lawrence, he's not going to set a time. That's it. That's our grid. Meepo and Tenari in the dying moments, taking the front row spots. And yeah, I'm looking at chat as well. We've got Icewind in chat, Lepson, Ron X. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. Icewind is backing his man Justin to win. I think he's a big Justin fan.
She says, and there might be a line tax on this track. Yeah. I think people who depend on the line will be very much using it today because it can be very useful, I believe.
I wonder if Icewind knows about McKender, because I'm thinking that those throttle issues I mentioned, I mean, he did 1 lap in this session, and it wasn't what we expected from the likes of McKender, so possibly he's still struggling with that. Maybe Icewind can confirm, but there we go. Front row of the grid is a Finnish lockout. Meepo and Tenari putting it right. They are tier 1 full-time drivers, and they rise to the occasion. Our gamer with a very solid 20.2 puts him in P3, beating Justin, and Christian is lurking behind there in P5, but Naikau, McKender, Touge, P6, P7, P8. We've got Crawley Voice still representing. He's P9, and Eagle Goose as well with a nice P10. The rest of the drivers there, X Crystal, Schoolline, Fox, Ryad, and I believe, if I can navigate to the bottom of that list. Yep, K. Lawrence and Danny Coe is at the back. He didn't get a time on the board.
Look at this. Icewind saying that's 0.006 slower than Jarno Opmeer in War Tier 1. Would that be Meepo, I take it?
That must
That's
be,
the-
yeah. That is super impressive.
Yeah, it's the mighty Rainbow Road. Yes, we do have two people on the podium, or not on the front row, or the front three. That's using line.
Uh-oh. That dirty word.
Yeah.
And how much of an advantage do you think on this track? Because Icewind's alluding to a line tax on this track, so...
Honestly, I don't really know. I mean, I don't know. I don't use line. I've never used line. I don't know, but I just take it from what people say that it is a quite a big advantage. I mean, I know even Meepo said himself that it was it's quite useful for him whenever in the he won was a couple of races ago. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Line can only tell you, the track, but it doesn't help you with racecraft and race strat. So that may still play into the factor of this race.
Yeah.
All about yeah.
But yeah, I'm just going to say, Meepo, like, he has had a few incidents in previous races, and apart from that, he's had a really stellar run this season. I've been really enjoying seeing him, but yeah, he's still got some things to work on. Him and McKender especially have come together a couple of times. So I don't know what that is. Like, is that just that aggression that you kind of need to have? But maybe he's just needing to refine, where the limits are for him, because yeah, like I say, it has got him into bother before. But he is going to lead the way today. That's going to feel good for him. He's got pole position, and he's got a fellow Finn behind him as well to keep him company up front. But it's Alpha Tauri guys, P3 and P4. I know our gamers are reserved, but maybe the team orders will come into effect here today. Maybe he'll help out his fellow Alpha Tauri driver.
Yeah, and it's a hard tire party today, Chief. Look at this. We have 15 of the 16 drivers on the grids, all opting to start on the hards. A lot of people like to go for the hard medium. They feel it's the best strategy. I said yesterday in the Tier 2 chat, that our VC, that I think that the hard and mediums are kind of samey. I mean, they're not really that big of a difference in terms of raw lap grip, raw lap pace. So yeah, this is going to be potentially, some people think, a DRS train, but I don't think so. I think that there are quite a number of people here that they might see a little bit of gaps develop, and you'll have like mini battles within each group. But certainly one thing is to be expected in the Qatar is that you will usually see P1 and P2 swapping places, usually on down the run down to turn 1 with the ever powerful DRS. So that will be one to watch out for. Safety cars are not super common, I would say, although I think we've had one. Crystals and Scullion have already, effectively DNF. They DNF'd the formation lap.
Yeah,
so they've had that coming together.
They've had some contact during that lap. Yeah, X Crystals didn't have a good performance yesterday. I'm interested to see how he does today. Maybe he will fare better, but yeah, yesterday was a race to forget for him and his teammate. But yeah, here we go. The drivers are taking up their grid slots. Meepo will lead the way, but I think away everybody on hards as well. It should be a fairly safe run down to turn 1. But let's see what happens. Who knows?
Yeah, it should be quite a neutralized start. It'll all depend on who lifts that throttle or that clutch quicker than the other person. Of course, some people may have TC, that may help them as well. But we're going to get underway here. And the lights drop, and Meepo leads the pack away here. And the McLaren of McKender gets a fantastic launch with our Red Bull further back of Fox off track already. And we'll see a few mood changes happening. McLaren from the middle pack, they're almost getting tagged. But so far, Meepo is holding on to that P1 race lead. We've got an Alpine of Christian challenging up the side here off McKender, and there's a bit of a wheel bang in there, and I thought that they were going to get sent there. Oh, he bangs McKender again. So I don't know if this is a bug or what, but it looks like there's a bit of wheel banging going on here, and this is a good opportunity for these guys to try and get a few places before the DRS hits. This is as close as you guys will be, of course, until or if there is a safety car, but yeah, almost around sector 2, and everyone holding position pretty much. I think there was a few switcheroos going on there, or switcheroos going on in the earlier stages of the start of the race. But so far, Meepo is still leading this field, but Tunaman is really on that gearbox. He seems to be very racy today on that Ferrari, determined to get past Meepo. But then again, as I said, BMP won the lead pack in Qatar is not necessarily. Oh, the McLaren, who was that further back? Was that Mac? Nearly losing it on the exit of that second last corner there. He caught it pretty well, and he stays within the fight. But yeah, you don't really want to be. Who is that actually? Is that Dan the Man? Danny is going for a move here on Eagle Ghost. Eagle is not really boosting at all. Dan is boosting. He wants to get past, and he slots in front of Eagle Ghost. He moves up into P11. And to finish my point earlier is you don't really, I feel, want to be running too much at the front, especially if everyone's pretty closely matched in their pace, because there's just the DRS is so difficult to break away from, Chief. Yep.
And look at this DRS trend, like the gaps are absolutely tiny. I see a lot of 2 tenths, sometimes creeping into the 1 tenth territory. Danico as well there, worth mentioning, he did get passed by Skolon just before he got that pass back. So just coming out of the penultimate corner, he might have had an issue, and that allowed Skolon to get that P11 momentarily until Danico got him on the straight again. So Danico has made up a bunch of positions, almost in the points already, but yeah, it's going to be hard work for him today once DRS is on, because everybody bar Tanari, who is now in the lead of the race, will have DRS.
Yeah, excellent point out. Right enough, I did made a slight mistake there. That was Dan the Man passing Scullion. Oh, we got Crawley. Crawley is in the wall. Oh, so no. Where did that? Oh, and it must have been this. Where did he do that? Oh, the second last corner, easily done. Tricky corner.
Yep, he's in the pits too as well. So I don't see any damage on the car, but and there's Danny Coe setting a fastest lap. He's up to P8 already. Doing the last to first nicely as Crawley pulls into the pits. Probably going to get a new front wing. Not the race start you want if you're the Crawley voice. He does love this track, but it's not working out for him today.
Yeah, and one thing that will be very ever-pressing, Chief, in this track will be those time penalties. Those track pens. We've seen how damaging it was for a gamer yesterday when he did get not a track penalty, but actually a pit penalty for speeding in the pits. But you know, those 3 seconds can rack up pretty quickly here in Qatar, as Dan the Man eats just a bit too much curb there, but he holds on to it, and yeah, he is hunting. He's in proper hunter mode, predator mode here, hunting down the back end here of Christian to get that DRS. He has got it, and Christian is looking proper racy here, right on the back of McKender. But the problem you get here is they will all be running similar setups, and they will all get the DRS, and then they'll all probably conserve their battery, so it might just be a no-show here. So we'll see who wants to use a bit more battery than others. Here we go. The guys up ahead of Mac are all trying to get in the slipstream or get out of slipstream, and right enough, as we would expect, everyone holds position. Oh, and Christian bumps the back of Mac. He's getting a little bit too up close and personal. And yeah, we've seen that happening in Tier 2 and Tier 3, Chief. People not anticipating the closing speed of these guys, and yeah, rear-ending the other driver.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some gaps forming here. Oh, what happened there?
Who's that? That was Gamer?
Our Gamer, yeah. He's had an issue. It looked like he lost the back end there, and it's compromised his exit. He's coming under attack from McKender now, but yeah, Meepo on the straight there, getting past Tanari, so I think that maybe they're working together a little bit. They don't want to hold each other up, so doing the swap-a-roo every lap would probably make sense. But yeah, the DRS trend is currently P1 to P9, and then K Lawrence there is just about on the DRS limit. Might be able to get himself within that. Yep, he's back in. So it's P1 to P10 DRS train.
Crawley's sticking on the fresh set of softs there, so he's probably just going to kind of hope and pray now that that'll last him long enough for a potential safety car. And, you know, considering how close they're all racing, I wouldn't be surprised if there is one. But these guys are pretty experienced drivers, so I'm sure they'll all be on their best behaviour. But then anything can happen in these races. Icewind is joined, and we have Christian having a look here at Mac. It would have to be very late then, and then of course Mac has the DRS, and then we definitely have the DRS. So realistically, we have a Meepo train, and yeah, this is what Justin was kind of talking about. It's excuse me, a little bit of a hiccup there. The DRS train. Who we got further back there? I thought I seen Scullion was having a bit of look there at Crystals, but nothing doing just yet. Christian is still. Really, I mean, he looks. I don't know. Christian looks like he would be, if there's a slight chance at all. He's there. Oh, there it is. There it is. Who's that? It's Fox. Fox is off. Fox is off at the back there. So another spin. So he's dropped off. So I'm saying, as I said, Chief, you know, safety car might not be an impossibility here. Some of these guys are really getting caught up and tripping over each other. But meanwhile, this I was going to say midfield. This entire practically front top 10 all glued to the back of each other, and yeah, something's got to give here because they're all on the same tire, probably similar setup, and they've all got similar battery, but there's their first time penalty. It's further back though, it's not going to affect the current grid as it stands. But Justin now is actually really close here. He's getting well out of the slipstream on the dirty air potentially. He's probably, you know what, he's probably giving himself a cushion here. As I like to speak, it's a crash cushion. Yeah, he's pulling into the back. He needs to be careful here that he doesn't get boxed in by the two fins. But no, nothing doing just yet. Don't be afraid to interrupt me, Chief, if you need be. But in the meantime, Gamer gets himself a time penalty. Yeah. And that, again, may just be absolutely devastating. Naiku doing a good job here keeping up with these guys. Remember, he is a Tier 3 driver. But it's definitely hooked it up for him today, and I think realistically, if we are going to see any incidents, Chief, I think we're going to see it into these brake zones like the hairpin, the fast double right, the tight left-hander that they're coming up to shortly. Those are the corners where you really will see a difference in driver ability. Some guys brake more than others, some guys carry more speed than others, and I think that's where you'll see something happening, because when something happens there and when they're this close, you get a domino effect.
Yeah, the tension builds. I mean, these gaps are still around 2-3 tenths, some creeping into the 5 tenth. Meepo looks like he's trying to get a push on Tenari and break that gap, but it's a tall order. But that penalty for our gamer, we've got a yellow flag. It's Fox, I believe, in the background. So a couple of drivers at the back completely out of the race, it has to be said, hoping for that safety car and potentially going to cause a safety car, judging by what I'm seeing. McKender also getting past here, or sorry, getting overtaked on over our gamer. Our gamer is trying to hold around the outside and go for the switchback here, but he doesn't do it. And yeah, our gamer's going to be kicking himself with that 3-second time penalty. That's huge. He's got Christian behind him, and that's the guy he wants to beat today.
Sorry, Crystals and Scullion are still at it, and Scullion got really deep there. Crystals was looking for a little bit of a cut back on him, but I'm going to keep a wee eye on this battle back further back, Chief, because I think something's going to give here between these two. These guys are fighting quite hard. Scullion. Oh, who's that?
Oh yeah, our gamer's getting passed by Eagle Ghost, I believe. Christian as well is trying to get the move on. So I think that's what happened. Yeah, like Eagle Ghost to P7. Yeah, he's having a stellar race today. He's keeping up with these very fast boys. Another guy I want to give a shout out to is K Lawrence. He did the fastest lap not too long ago, so he is certainly up to speed today.
I swear, Crystals is literally piling the pressure on the Scullion here, and he needs to be careful that he's running this close on these fast double right-handers, because it's just a recipe for disaster. If he will need to pass here in the DRS, because these guys are there's definitely gonna be something happening between Scullion and Crystals if he sits behind him for any longer. So yeah, Crystals will need to push here on the DRS. Scullion deploying everything with it, gamer passing Eagle as we would expect. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and Crystals is going for it on Scullion. And Scullion and Tudge is trying to squeeze up as well. So Tudge gets as well. So Scullion loses out 2 places to 1. Oh, and he loses at the back end of it there.
Yeah, and Crystals gets a free second time penalty. That's going to be a kick in the gut as he got that move done nicely. But yeah, these guys are on the ragged edge, and when you're on the ragged edge, it is so easy to pick up a warning, and then that leads to penalties. So Crystal has 1 to his name so far, and we're only in lap 8. Actually, Crystal's is 6 seconds already, and we're in lap 8, so not looking so good for him today.
And tell you what, as well, for Cody, some idiot, RRK Lawrence, whatever name you choose to go
Oh,
by.
Crystals is out. I think he's...
There we go.
Yeah, he's had an issue, and he's off track. So, yeah, he is effectively out of this race unless there's a safety car. But, yeah, sorry, Bob.
No, it's all right. No, I was saying, I mean, I knew something was going to happen between those two. They were far too close to each other, and they were getting really hairy. Crystals is really... Oh, Crystals is just... I think he's going to retire. He's just cutting practically all these corners here. Look at this. Yeah, I think he's going to call it a quit. So, yeah, this might be a retirement. Oh, my goodness, he just missed his pit wall. The Crystals will most likely retire in the pits. He probably won't even stop. Yeah, there you go. See? Yeah, he's quite frustrated. There he goes. Our first retirement. Yeah, I was saying for RRK Lawrence, some idiot Cody, however you wish to call him, or however he goes by on your screen. For someone that hasn't got much practice or knowledge, or however he put it, he's done a pretty good job here keeping up with these guys. Oh, he runs a bit deep there on the brakes, sliding into the hairpin. Keeping up with this field, Chief, currently P10 within the DRS. Christian now is starting to harass the back end there of that Merc of Eagle Ghost. And of course, Eagle, Gamer, and Crawley are all in the same VC with some guy called Lepson, apparently. Whoever that is. Yeah, you know, Lepson is crew chief in them, keeping them up to date and informed. And and the Christian is into the pits.
Oh, right? That's early, yeah. I wonder, that is quite early for. He's going to have to go for mediums, but mediums for what is that, 20 laps?
He must be going either mediums off probably then, because I mean that's going to be quite an order to get those mediums that far. But yeah.
That's a strange one. He's going to miss out on DRS for a lot of laps as well. He will have clean air. I mean, that's the only good thing I can see right now for him. He will have a lot of clean air. But yeah, later in the race, this decision might cost him dearly.
But you can see here, Chief, as I was saying, this is the problem with Qatar. It is the only problem I would see with it, because I absolutely love this track, is when you have a load of drivers that are pretty similar in their pace. I mean, look at the top 5. Their batteries are practically 100%. In fact, they are. From Meepo down, 95, 100, 100, 100. You know what I mean? It's like there's no incentive to overtake, because you do not want to beat... Excuse me, hiccups again. You do not want to be that lead driver, you know, with the DRS. But then because Meepo knows it, he deploys a little bit, but not too much. And it just really nullifies the race. But I'll tell you what, he's doing a good job here holding off these guys. Then again, they're probably not attacking too much. I think they're just quite happy just to follow. And that's what it all comes down to. It comes down to just really the last, say, 2 laps. Whenever they're this close, it'll come down to the last few laps. Really, of, you know, who starts to make a move. You can see Tunerman having a look, Justin having a look. They're more or less positioning their car more than anything to make sure they don't get caught up in anything, and they hold position still, P1, P2, P3. So yeah, it may well be like this, folks, until we do indeed get a potential safety car, or it will be during the pit stops.
Oh, Christian's in the pits again. What is that about? He has just been in the pits and he's retired from the session. I don't know what's happened there. He pitted on the last lap, and then I don't know. He just gave up. Strange one from Christian.
Does not normally for someone like him. I'm not even. What? I can't speak. It's not normally someone like him. Sorry. that's not something he normally would do. That's what I'm trying to say. He normally doesn't give up. He normally fights to the end. So there must be another underlying issue there with our man from Denmark. I think he's from Denmark. If he's not, well, then he's probably Swedish. But then I'll just stop digging a hole. Oh, Naiku digging a massive hole.
I was literally just thinking, like, he had penalties yesterday, so today's all about... Oh, Naikai's in the wall! Oh, my word. I think that penalty just... Yeah, we touched on it yesterday. Like, you get a penalty, it can really mess with your head. He took his eye off the ball there for just one moment and sent him into the wall. Doing so well. He was in P4 hanging out with the big boys. But now he's going to have to get back to the pits, and that's effectively race over unless there's a safety car.
But just as you did right enough, you did touch on that. It's just there's a mental shift the minute you get that penalty, and you just go, damn it. And there's just that slight foot distraction in your concentration. And when you're at this level, at this pace, this close, that was enough to throw it off for him. But whilst he was spinning and having an interesting look at the barrier, there was a change at the front, Chief. Meepo nearly lost 2 places out there, but he managed to hold on to just the 1 loss. And so his loss is Tunaman's gain. He is up to P1 and now leading the pack. And again, we probably won't see much of a push, but we've seen in the previous races that Meepo does not like following. He is not one to... He doesn't settle for P2. He goes for the lead. He likes to lead the field. He goes for success. And that's probably something bestowed down from him from his dad, is that's quite a successful man, and I think he's putting that into Meepo as well. You want to lead from the front, and let's see if Meepo does indeed carry out exactly as I'm predicting, and he is. He does not want to follow. He's like, not happening, son. I'm in charge of this race. Yeah, I'm leading this race. Meanwhile, Dan the man chief from so far back in the grid is right on the back of this battle now, and him and McLaren, look at those McLarens currently dominating they got a yellow further back. Who is that? It's a Mercedes off. I know it's an Aston off, is that? Who's that? Yeah, it is an Aston off Scullion. He lost it at the final corner, but yeah, these McLarens dominating the constructors, and here they are sitting, keeping a watching brief of these 3 top spots, and they're kind of thinking, which one do we want? Do we want P3? Do we want P2? Or maybe we'll just take P1 and 2. You wouldn't put it past them with their talent and their experience and their raw pace to be able to do it. But I think they're quite reasonably happy to sit back at the moment, because, as I said, Chief, unless someone drops it and there's a safety car, this is going right to the end. This is going to be a pit stop battle and maybe a last lap battle.
Justin! He sold a dummy.
Yeah.
I almost bought it there, but yeah, he's not going for the... I mean, that would have been funny if someone pitted behind him because of that, but Justin trying to outplay his fellow competitors. Danny Coe taking a rather strange line going into turn 1. He on that start-finish rate goes to the right. We saw it from Justin as well. I think it's just is it just the cold tires or something? Or
no, I think that is something that I do a lot, Chief. If I'm falling behind a pack like this, and I know it's not really worth risking my race trying to fight them, I would often, if I know I'm coming into like a corner, a tight corner, or whatever, I would go out like that to have a little look to see how close these guys are up ahead. It's just basically kind of a visual gauge of to see how close they are, what's going on up ahead. Because you can kind of get the tires. You can get a little bit misjudge the distances whenever you're behind guys sometimes. And I think Justin just having a little bit of a look to see who's going for attack there. As things happen at the front, Chief, Meepo has decided that he wants no more part of this DRS thing, and he is checking out. He is absolutely flooring it.
Yeah, and I think that Justin's wee dummy there, that kind of indicates this is a pit window. Drivers can start to think about pitting as Justin comes into the pits. It's not a dummy. He goes in full commitment there, and he's the first to pit. He will get that undercut now. He's the only one of the front runners to pit, but he is going to lose out on DRS until the guys come in, and hopefully he'll be in the mix once more. But interesting move there from Justin, the first guy to blink.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how powerful the undercut is here. Maybe the man, the font of all knowledge that is racing, Mr. Icewind, maybe he can, if he's still listening, surely he'd be still listening to our voice, Chief. I would say so. Listen to our lovely tones, our dulcet tones. If he can let us know how powerful or how significant is the undercut. Oh, who was that? Justin getting really slidey there.
Oh my
Really trying
word, yeah, he's really working
to.
those tires, yeah.
And then Scullion is off again the final corner, and he hits the DRS board for good measure. Yeah, Icewind confirms the overcut is better. So this might not work out to Justin's favour here at all. And yeah, it's a bit slidey here warming these mediums up. It's who's going to blink first? Well, no, I say blink first. We've already seen Justin, but out of this pack now, the thing is the McLarens need to be careful. Dan the man's in.
Yep. And that's a good, yeah, that's a good call from him because he doesn't want to risk the double stack with McKender. They're running very closely, so one of them had to go in first, and Danny Coe chose to lead the way in that regard. Eagle goes as well into the pits, so I imagine these front guys are either going to extend for a bit, go to softs, or they're going to pit on this lap for mediums.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chief, just as that happened, that they need to be careful that they don't get the double stack. We have seen them getting double stacked. Was it twice now this season? And it was at each time it was at McKender's expense. He was the second McLaren in the field, and he, of course, is the one that got lost out. Generally, I think they were under safety cars, but Dan this time decides he's going to jump that hole. The guy at front gets pits first, and he comes in for the early pit. So yeah, we will see if this undercut works. Icewind saying that he'll be astonished if the undercut works. For Justin anyway, probably for Dan as well. We're going to find out. Scullion retires.
There is a early indication that undercut was pretty potent because Danny Coe 2.4 behind Justin. He currently, before the pits, he was in the DRS train. So I think he's made up a little bit of time as we're seeing the front runners coming in. Meepo, Tenari following, McKender staying out as we've seen him do in the past. He might be thinking, I'm going to go to soft, I'm going to try something different here. So McKender in the pit, McKender stays out, as does our gamer, Kay Lawrence. So it's going to be interesting to see where Meepo and Tenari come out in regards to Justin, who's coming around the last corner. This is going to be tight. I'm going to run on board with Justin and see how he sees it. As you can see on the track map there. Yep, he's going to get this done. He's passed the both of them, so that undercut worked out nicely. But Meepo and Danny Coe Tenari. Oh, Danny Coe is in the mix. Look at this. Danny Coe splitting Meepo and Tenari. So Meepo was P1 before these pit stops. And now he's P5 with Danny Coe splitting him and Tenari. That is an interesting development.
This is really where the Qatar is a real chess match. It's like really where you'll see the strategies play out. And you're starting to see them now, the who pits when and for what. And you're starting to see it, as I say now. You can pit at the end of this lap for these guys, front three. For softs, as Empyrean joins. It's just going to be a spectator at this point. But yeah, you can stick the softs on. Again, I said yesterday, whether there's been an update to the game that doesn't make it work, but it did work for me back then. You can pit lap 17 or 18 for softs, and they will get you to the end, and they are very, very tasty as well in these final stages of. Oh, Dan the man just caught an absolute killer there. That was almost game over for Dan. He hangs on.
Yeah, McKender and our gamer pitted in the background just while that happened. They're on the mediums. Kay Lawrence is the only one out. They're on these old tires. He's yet to pit. He's leading the way. He might be the only one right now who's going to go to sauce, as we are seeing McKender filter out right behind Tenari. So that worked out nicely for Danny Coe and Justin. Justin is now leading this race by 1.5 on slightly older tires, but that undercut did work out for him nicely.
So consider Mr. Icewind astonished, I would say, because yeah, Justin is in fact going to be leading this race when Lawrence comes in. We have Meepo's dad asking, will Meepo take this? No crash, or is it the heart's hiding it? No crashes at the end. It's possible that there could be crashes at the end. We've seen in the other races that Qatar usually waits till a grand finale, usually the last 2 or 3 laps is when you really see things starting to happen. But at the moment, he is just outside the DRS. Dan the man is charging in that McLaren up behind him. And Dan is starting to really unleash what he's got in that McLaren. So if Meepo's going to do this, it's going to be quite a tough battle for that, because he's got, of course, 2-time champs behind him and a almost potential 3-time. I think it was 3-time. Justin just missed out on the title. So yeah, Meepo is in quite accomplished company at the moment. And Dan, I think, just seems to have a wee bit more legs on him. He did have the DRS, of course, but I just think Dan is really starting to unwind that McLaren and really start to show what he can do.
Yeah, and remember last week, Bob, Meepo and Danico had that incident, and Danico was not the happiest person. It was a lot of blue air in the commentators' booth after the race when we interviewed him. So I wonder if he's put that behind him. But he's in the same position again. He's going to have to try and get a move on Meepo. So whether these two lock horns again, or it's going to be done in DRS, and yeah, we await to see. Good to see Jan in chat though, supporting his son on track.
Yeah, and Ice thinks that Justin's going to be in trouble in a few laps with those 2-lap older mediums as Cody comes in for the pits, and I think he will most certainly be sticking softs on. Surely he'll stick softs on. But yeah, Justin is about to take command of this race, but Meepo has other ideas. He is deploying and DRS open, and he swishes past Justin, but don't get too excited yet, Mr. Yan, because Meepo has used quite a lot of battery, and it is quite difficult to charge in Qatar, and Justin will probably know this, and he is managing his battery. So yeah, I know for me personally, if I'm racing in Qatar, I do not want to be in P1 on the final lap. I want to have P2, a good bit of battery, and be able to really push.
Yeah.
Then again, who am I?
Who am I? Just a tier-free champ, you know? Don't be too modest, Bob.
Well, I won Nana as well.
That's right.
And then I won the F2 event member for us as well.
There you go. And
But yeah,
two SRL constructors.
So yeah, we're kind of just waiting now, Chief, to see how this all plays out into these final few laps. Probably won't see an awful lot happening now. It's really, as I say, the last couple of laps. A gamer here keeping up nicely with McKender. Of course, he does have that time penalty, which is going to have a massive effect on his race. He will, of course, lose out to Tuna Man if it stays the way it is for the next couple of laps. But a gamer has the DRS. He probably will pass Mac. Mac getting very defensive and pulling over. But nothing he can do. Tuna Man doesn't even attempt it. He knows he'll just wait for the next lap. And Mac will, of course, get the hiccups, the DRS. On the subsequent lap upcoming, yeah, what's happening in this battle up ahead, Chief? So Dan the Man is still following behind Justin. Justin has been deploying quite a lot of battery. He's almost matching Meepo's. And so Meepo has a lot of pace here, as we've already seen in quali. And he's actually starting to drop Justin out of DRS range. So this is starting to look pretty good for Meepo. If he can break that DRS and then just manage his battery to maintain that gap, it looks like he might be well indeed winning this race.
Yeah, and looking, towards the back end of the grid, well, I say back end, it's in the points, is Kay Lawrence on these sauce, and he's closed up nicely on Touge. I think we're going to see a move here, and possibly a double move, because he's got Touge ahead and also Eagle Ghost. and Kay Lawrence will be wanting to maximise these tires. He's about to head on to the start-finish straight. I imagine it's going to be a double overtake here from Kay Lawrence, as he gets a absolutely stellar run out of the last corner, and Twos just says, you know what, just go for it. Like, I'm not going to fight this. And we do indeed see a double overtake from Kay Lawrence. One to keep an eye on, he's not too far back, 6 seconds off the lead pack here. Could get into the mix in the dying moments of the race, but yeah, it's Meepo commanding this race at the minute. He looks like he's at a disadvantage when it comes to ERS, but he has slight gains in terms of tyre wear. 5 lap old tyres, whereas Justin's on 7 lap, Danny Co on 6 lap medium, so that will definitely benefit him every lap, because he will just be slightly fresher tyres than the guys behind. So that might explain his pace, but the ERS usage of Meepo, he clearly wants to get this done. He wants to pull away, but Justin's using a lot of ERS as well, just to stay in the DRS range.
Yeah, top 4 Chief are all using now, so it's really starting to heat up, as we were kind of anticipating. And these guys will want to be much closer than what they currently are to this field. They'll want to make, first of all, they want to ensure that they keep that DRS.
Yeah, and speaking of DRS, McKender now in DRS range of these this league group, so he's got himself back in the mix. That's brought our gamer into this DRS range. Tanari just missing out at the minute. And Kay Lawrence is charging in the background. He's picked up I think it's about a second and a half on that last lap alone.
Justin is right on the back of now of Meepo, and you can just see up ahead he is going to be lapping Crawley. So we have been championing Crawley all week in Tier 3 and in Tier 2, and unfortunately he's going to get lapped. But you know what, Chief? That is sometimes a welcome sight for a lot of guys in the front if you're fighting for this win, because you see, that's going to be a car that they all have to navigate. And if Meepo navigates Crawley, it all depends on when he meets up with him, but this can really work to your favour if you can pass Crawley on a tricky section, which forces the other guys to kind of sit behind. That could be a saving grace. It's also, if Meepo can catch up and get the DRS on him as well, he'll hold on for another lap. But yeah, this is going to be quite a tricky battle now for Meepo to hold this off with these guys who on the DRS, but they have all got basically no battery except Gamer. Gamer has a fantastic amount of battery. Tuna Man behind him, no risk, 8%. So Tuna Man is our Gamer's in a good spot here, even though he has got that time pen.
Yeah, and some people complain, like, drivers tend to complain about these DRS trends, but I don't mind these types of races. You know, they're very tense affairs, and they kind of bubble away until they get the boiling point. And I think we're about to get to that boiling point soon. There's, 5 laps left? Something has to give, and Meepo has been looking pretty solid up front, but we know the likes of Justin, Danny Co, McKender, they tend to take wins in the final laps of races, so Meepo is definitely got his work cut out for this final phase of the race.
You know, at the moment it's looking pretty good for him, to be honest. These guys, like I said, the battery's so key as well, and I think they're all going to neutralize each other, and it is highly, well, I don't want to say highly likely, but it is, if I was a betting man, I would be starting to lean towards Meepo securing this, because yeah, I think they're all just going to neutralize each other, except if Gamer can do something as well. But he is, of course, catching up on the back of Crawley here, and I think he's actually going to catch him in the mid area of this lap, which will not be ideal for Meepo. He probably would have wanted to catch up on him just before the last couple of corners to get a DRS on him. But yeah, this back marker of Crawley is going to potentially cause some issues. Even if you are ghosted, it is a bit distracting having to drive through a driver, as Chan is picking up from what I was saying. I'm a betting man, he says, and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be afraid of putting a few quid on Meepo here, because I think he is looking pretty good for this win. But he does have Justin and Dan charging and breathing down his neck, and yeah, we can see here now he is starting to catch Crawley, and this just having a guy in front of you like this can be enough. Excuse me, to really put you off. Crawley getting well out of it, yes. So Crawley doing the right thing and getting well out of that. That's a good job, Crawley. Probably Lepson was keeping him informed. So there you go. Lepson probably did something good for a change. There you go.
Ooh, McKenna right on the back of his teammate Danny Coe. It's down to 1/10 there as we head into the triple right-hander, which is pretty much flat out at this point in the race. So you do have to lift the fur corner, and then this sweeping left-hander. Always a pleasure to take. Well, if you get it right, it just feels amazing. But I've yet to do that, so there is that. I did want to say as well that last lap, Justin looked like he could have went for a move, but held back, and that might be indicating that he's saving it all up for that last lap run. Like again, he could have went for that move there, but he's just happy enough to sit beside Meepo right now, and I wonder if he's trying to push Meepo into mistake as well. Pressure can crack a driver, as we are well aware. Bob. Getting my names mixed up. I'm doing a Bob.
I can tell you what, Chief. I'm just looking at the track warnings. Both McLaren drivers are on 2 warnings each, and I can see Justin is on 1 warning. Yeah, Justin's on 1 warning, and I don't see any from Meepo. I'm just checking here. Yeah, I don't see any warnings from Meepo at all.
That is super impressive.
There is one. There's 1 warning from Meepo.
Okay.
So McLaren boys are running very high risk. 1 more track excursion, and they're getting a time penalty.
Yeah, that's tough, isn't it? Especially when you're in old tires. You're getting tired at the end of the race. You've been in this DRS train running 2-3 tenths behind the guy ahead. There's a guy right behind you, and yeah, the track limits thing, it's like the least of your worries. But right now, if they get another warning, that will spell disaster for them, as we're seeing who's this Art Gamer right on the back of McKender. Is he going to go for the move here? It looks like he might do it, but he decides not to. But look up ahead, it's Danny Coe down the inside of Justin, and he's managed to get alongside. But yeah, on the left-hander, Justin has that and almost forces Danny Coe out wide, and Justin able to come out top there. But look at the gap, 1/10 between them. They're almost joined cars going through these different sections here.
And this is just playing into Meepo's hands as well, because the more these guys fight further back, the more that they can get away. Justin is was that weaving? I'm not sure what was going on there, but they will get yellows further back. But we're not going to focus on that, Chief. We'll keep an eye on this battle currently between Danny and Justin. Of course, McKender is keeping a watching brief. I don't know if Gamer's really going to challenge this. I think he might just be quite happy just to sit here, knowing that he does have that time penalty, and he is fighting with guys that are really fighting for this championship. So I would not be surprised if Gamer stays out of this. So really, this battle is between these 4 guys, Chief. Dan will, of course, be regrouping and having another go. Meepo still hasn't really made any headway on his battery. Still down to 15 odd percent. Justin's doing a good job, though. He is starting to charge up to double that of Meepo's, as well as Dan. So Meepo is still under risk here as Naiku retires on track.
Our Gamer's going for a move here. Sorry, Bob, but he's going for a move on McKender. He gets it done using ERS, but loses out again 2 corners later. But it looks like he's still got it. He's trying to hang around the outside, but yeah, McKender's got that move done. So our Gamer, he is looking for positions here. He is a reserve today, but he is looking very feisty.
Yeah, well, you see, not only will Lepson be listening, but of course he will of course be telling him that the guys in front have basically no battery, and Gamer has plenty of battery in the tank. So reserve or not, he's allowed the race for this, and so if he chooses to, then he can. Dan taking a wide line there. He's starting to lose a bit of ground here on Justin. Justin defended hard there against Dan's charge, and it is coming into, Chief, the final lap, and it is all or nothing here at now. Justin is going to want to squeeze up onto the back, and this is it. If you don't get it done by this DRS, then that's it done. I think that's it done. Meepo is going to deploy everything he's got. Here he goes. Meepo is still deploying. Justin's deploying. The DRS activated. This is going to be really hurry. Justin might actually get him. Run down. Is he going to go for the move? He does go for the move, and he takes the lead of Qatar. And Meepo might not get it back again, because I don't really know if there's any other place where he can get the move done. He's going to have to do it on track.
Yeah, he's going to have to pull off something special here, Bob, but I mean, that's going to be very demoralizing. Oh, he's almost pushing Justin through the last corner. I mean, one opportunity he does have, if he's this close coming out of the last corner, he might be able... Oh, and he loses it under braking. And that's going to cost him big time. Yep, Danny Coe has got himself up to P2, and it's all falling apart from Meepo. And our gamer's lurking in the background as well. He's got a good bit of ERS left, so he's still in the mix. McKender there as well, lurking in the background. But what a transformation for Meepo. Was P1 now down to P3, and we're running out of track.
Yeah, this is what I told you, Chief. You do not want to be P1 on the last lap in Qatar. Absolutely do not want that. Unless you've got an absolute bucket load of battery, you don't want to do it. And then Justin is not going to be able to lose, or Danny's not going to be able to take this now. That's it, done.
Yeah, I mean, Danny has a little bit of ERS here, so if he gets a stellar run out of this last corner, he might have a chance. It is going to be close. The line is way down. He's going to get it. Oh, Justin pushes him. Oh my God, no! Oh my word, Danny Coe, how did you do that, man? That is some crazy stuff. And Justin knew it. He slammed into the wall in protest. Wow. I mean, like I was saying, Bob, these types of races, they tend to boil away until the last lap. And that was like the last available opportunity. We didn't think he would do it. Even I was starting it, but yeah, Danny Coe once again pulling it out of the hat. I mean, if he doesn't win the title this season, I don't know what's happening.
That was incredible, Chief. We lost our professionalism there. We were shouting at each other. That was so exciting. But yeah, I think Dan the man will be absolutely joyful with that one. Of course, he did miss out on the race last week with the incidents. Don't know whether he'll have anything to say. It looked like Justin really pushed him quite a lot there, and was almost on the point of forcing off track. But I think it was like understandable within reason. It's like you're about to lose the race. But Dan the man from so far back, Chief, he does it not only on the last lap, on the last little section of the track he does it. And again, it just supports what I said. You don't want to be first on the last lap.
Wow, what a finish to I mean, like I said, in the race, DRS trains, you know, they do tend to be low-key events, but yeah, in Tier 1, it's all about that last lap on a lot of tracks, and this one was no different. And we've seen that before from Danny Coe. I can't remember what track it was, but I know that was it Silverstone? I think he beat Tenari by around about the same time that he just beat Justin by. Yeah. And that went down to the very last corner, as did this one. Wow, I don't know. I really want to speak to Danny Coe. I mean, are we glazing here, or you know? I think it's warranted though. I mean, that was something special, has to be said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a damn if people think it's glazing, and I mean that's only a recent word for me. I've known Dan for what 5-6 years now, since 2S days. I've always known Dan to be a great talent, and he has just really got better and better and better every season. And this season, my goodness, man, that race in Silverstone was a mega race. In Spa, he was on for a fantastic finish as well. And then that finish here, my goodness, I mean, it honestly did look like that Meepo was potentially going to take it. Justin fought really hard, but damn, man, yeah, honestly, and we don't normally do it as we say, but that's another driver of the day performance by a country mile.
I know, he makes it easy, doesn't he? Like, sometimes it's hard to choose, but I mean, when you see something like that, it's hard to go for any other driver other than Dan the man, and he certainly is the man of the moment. What a absolute stellar win for him. He was leading the championship going into this round. He for sure has cemented his position and is looking very, very good for the title. it is only we're not even at the halfway point of the season, so that may not be the case. We know there's a lot of drivers in there, but I mean, when you're driving like that and you're seeing performances like you see with Danico week in week out, if I was a betting man like Jan is apparently, who lost out on that one unfortunately, I would put all my money on Dan right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah. I think it would be hard to go against Dan Secure in this. I mean, well, obviously, it's not the end of the season yet. There are still a couple of tricky races coming up, like namely Singapore. But I mean, he's in such a form right now. I mean, we have that kind of funny meme with Dan. The Copefield effect. Whenever you have these, or I made a meme, the Copefield effect. There's always something Dan did. Like, remember the time he drove into the back of the safety car and stuff. But you said at the start of the race, I wonder he recovered from that quite colourful post race last week, and I was going to say that Dan has got this fantastic mentality. It's very much like a racer's mentality, whereby he can compartmentalize things. He can be frustrated at the time, get frustrated, and then lock it away, and then move on fresh to the next race. And yeah, he maybe carries a little bit of it for a bit of ammo, but yeah, Dan's just an absolute formidable force this season.
Yeah, let's get him in. He's sitting there in the interview channel, so we'll bring him in. Get his immediate reaction to a stellar win. Another win. Dan, you're making a habit of this, and you're making a habit of these like heart-stopping finales. I mean, what the hell happened there?
I don't know, to be honest. That last lap, I was like, Justin, in theory, should overtake Meepo on the straight, and that probably done. He did do that, but he didn't do it by as much as I thought he would do. Because I don't think he realised he didn't have the tyres or as much ERS as he did. So, and that might be because, he slowed up when he was in P2 and I put it on his inside because I wanted P2. Like, racing. But then, so he had to use maybe to catch back up to Meepo for the last lap. Then, so Justin overtook Meepo. Sorry, I just read something in chat as well at the same time. So Justin overtook Meepo just on the straight, I think, or did they go side by side? Can you remember?
What lap?
The last lap.
Whereabouts?
The first corner.
Turn
yeah.
one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Were they side by side or did Justin get ahead? I can't remember. Because I know into the double right, in sector one, Meepo was basically pushing Justin through that corner.
Yeah.
And then he tried to dive on the inside, but
that's right.
His rear's locked, and then it opened it up for me.
Yeah.
And because them two were both flashing, I had gone into that last lap saying P3's maximum. Let them do what they do. So I had just not used my ERS. So I had 25 before the double rights. So I thought to the line I might be able to get a 1 or something. So then into the hairpin, Meepo rears locks because he's tried to go down the inside of Justin. Justin leaves the room for him, respectfully, which is, I love to see it. Meepo, because he's recovering from the rear locks, couldn't get the traction, so I got him there. I had to use a bit to next shore, because I didn't want, him on inside to a corner where you cannot hold it on the outside. So thankfully I got ahead of that. Then it was just a case of get as close as I can to Justin, because it's a bit hard. It's hard to get them to the line unless they are high drag or low ERS. So I was like, get a good exit, stay close, and just drive to the line. And it worked. Probably people want to say don't deserve it, but
Tell me, Dan, about the run just to the line. It was like really tense for us. We were like screaming, and so I'm just trying to remember back. But did it look like that you were getting run off track?
I mean, I was expected to. I'd have done the same.
Yeah,
So I would just kept coming over as he did, and then
yeah,
I think it got to a point where I had basically my whole car in front, so I just somewhat moved back in front of him.
yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, besides that, I think I pitted on the right lap to get the undercut on Tanari, Makenda, and our gamer somehow. I got lucky with that. I'm not lucky because I picked the right lap. I think Justin went too early.
Hmm.
I think that's probably what cost him in the end. He went a lap too early.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that, Dan, during the stream, and I was asking in chat mainly for Icewind if he can tell me whether the undercut works. And Ice was saying that generally the overcut's better, and that he would be
Yeah.
astonished that if Justin done it, and he did actually do it. As you've seen, he came out the front, but as you say, to his own detriment because it kind of affected him later on in the race.
I think it was literally a lap too early
Yeah.
because by the time Makenda and our gamer caught up to me after the pit stop, the at 21% or something, you hit drop off, and by the time they've got to me, they have also hit that, so their advantage was gone, which was good for me because if they caught up and still had that advantage, then there's probably not much I could have done to keep them behind. So yeah, it's all strategy in the end. I feel sorry for Meepo. I think he probably deserved it the most out of everyone. He had incredible pace. So I feel bad for him, but it's hard to do something when
Well, it's like I was saying, Dan. It's like you don't want to be, excuse me, you don't want to be P1 in Qatar, especially in the last lap.
no. I mean, I need to look back at the first corner on the last lap because I can't remember if Justin just got ahead or something or they were side by side. Because if he was side by side and just lost it, then he's nearly pulled it off. But it's like one of those tracks exactly like Silverstone where you do not want to be first on the last lap. It's like Spa as well. You don't want to be first on that last lap unless you've
Danny,
got the gap.
I want to ask you about like the race went amazing. You did last to first, but the reason why you were in last was qualifying. What happened in quali? I only saw you do, I think, 2 runs.
Yes, I did my usual for the first 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So that's the toilet. First run, where did I get? I got what corner was it? One of the corners got a wobble and then invalidated, so I aborted that. Then the second lap, I didn't realise how close we was for time, and I was starting my lap. Eagle's right behind, and we had some idiot coming. And I don't, because Eagle wasn't in VC with some idiot who wouldn't have known he was just doing race runs, high fuel, so he wasn't going to catch us up. So therefore, Eagle started his lap like a second and a half behind me. So going through the lap, he caught up on the main straight because of the
Dan, do you have any words for your sponsor?
yeah. Icewind for the CPU, the ICU. Lol. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd have this much of a PC without him. So I owe him a lot. I love him.
I
There
don't
you
have
go,
any
guys.
more questions, Chief. Or yeah, just that Dan's going to be my driver of the day. Clear as day.
Yeah, you made it easy for us, Dan, once again.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. You did the most outstanding performance today than anyone.
If you say so.
I'm saying so, Dan. So there you go. What do you say, Chief?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go. I mean, like, just watch the last last sector of that race, and you'll hear me and Bob about to have an aneurysm. Uh, we we just lost all professionalism and just started yelling into the mic. Kind of like Silverstone.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to watch this one back as well then, I guess.
yeah, I think you'll enjoy that one. But Dan, the man of the moment, what a win, and definitely does wonders for the championship as well. But we will no doubt speak to you again in the coming weeks. And yeah, GG on the win, and speak soon.
See you soon.
All right, bye. Let's bring in our gamer. He's been waiting patiently in the interview booth. We just want to get a wee chat with you because you are a Tier 2 driver, but you were rubbing elbows with the top guys in Tier 1 today. I mean, how did that feel? And, what was it like having a front row seat to that run down to the line there in the last lap?
I was rubbing elbows with Tier 1. Surprise, huh?
Not surprised for me. No, I believe in you, man.
Yeah, we know you can.
It was a fun race. First, I started with quali. I honestly battled my last lap, but I think it could have been only like P2. P1 was a bit too far away, but it was fun. Honestly, like the gaps were very small at the top, so yeah, it was very exciting in quali. And seeing Nico also Tier 3 driver like up there, like for I think the first 2 laps was also surprising. He's been picking up the pace lately. Same with Crowley also. But yeah, I think the race was just absolutely bore-faced the first, like, I don't know, like 26 laps or 25 laps. But I think just I had like I was streaming in Discord, so that's my excuse. I had like game stutters the first stint, so I just kept losing places to Nico, Mckinder, and almost Christian also. So I was struggling in the first few laps, but when I ended the stream, I was feeling more comfortable just staying with the guys ahead, and then I just followed Mckinder. In hindsight, it may be not the best strategy because we got beaten by the ones who undercut us, but I feel it's mostly due to the train just was not really moving, not really like attacking each other or trying to throw up places, and yeah, just me and Mckinder was trying to get the DRS in the second stint. I think Mckinder just used a bit too much ERS at that point to get us that DRS. That helped me because I had more ERS than him. So I think like 4 or 5 laps before, I was just teasing him. I was seeing like if he had ERS or not, and he flashed his light and on the straight. So I think a few laps over, also like 26, I tried to go for a move, and he also like used a bit of ERS, and I just stayed in my place, and I think went for it the last lap or the lap before, because yeah, it was like I had to go for it because I was planning to go for even more places because I think the top guys were fighting a bit and had lower ERS than me, so I was trying to take advantage of that, and I also had the penalty, so it didn't really affect the standings or like the results, so I was just having fun at that point.
Yeah, well, we saw that penalty
yeah.
coming in. That was quite early for you. And I mean, how did that, factor in then, when you were driving against those guys? Were you thinking like, oh, I'm not really, I'm not going to fight them too hard here because I've got this penalty, or were you just having fun out there?
Well, the penalty was unjustified because it was one off track and I got 2 for it. I stayed clean the whole race afterwards. It's not going to be removed because it's my own fault. I went off track. I learned that from Pretorius long ago. But after that, it was like just like nothing to lose. Not in the sense that I was send it on Mckinder or Danny. I'm not an idiot. I would just go for like safe moves, DRS, or if they messed up, I would go for it. But I was really not trying to cause chaos or dive in weird places. No, I would just, if I had the ERS advantage or DRS or top speed, I would just go for it. Yeah, not really just like staying back. I was trying to get P3 at least, and I did. I think in the end.
Yeah, and then also looking at the final standings, you started P3 and then ended P5. But you did get the fastest lap in Tier 1, bro.
What?
What's going on? Yeah, 22.7. 1/10 faster than the next guy. I think I think Tier 1 is
Wait.
calling you, bro.
Wait, okay, I didn't finish P5. Technically, I finished P3 with an unfair penalty from the FIA or the game. I got P5, so let's make that right. and I want to point two things out. Mackinder was pushing me very hard. Like, I was surprised he was trying to keep me behind because I think Iceland was in the lobby and he had ERS info on me. And I had a lot more ERS than Mackinder, so I wasn't really staying behind him. And he was like pushing me wide into the pit wall. I think he had any chance to overtake the guys ahead because he had a lot of ERS disadvantage. So I was really weirded out by that. And also, Mepo by the end was pushing me very wide in the pit wall. So that was both a sketchy moment, but yeah, it was also all fair racing because nothing really happened. But yeah, that was very aggressive, and also I think also happened to Danny and Justin were just like pushing each other because I think one of them had DRS or not, I don't know, but yeah, that was just my highlights in the race, basically.
And at home track as well, so great performance
No.
from you. So moving on to Mexico City fan.
It's not
I
loud.
mean, basically home track, innit? How far away is it from your house? Like 5 minutes?
5 minutes!
By
Minimum 10 hours. Minimum.
by Starship, 5 minutes, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's great seeing you in Tier 1. Hopefully we'll see you back in there.
Wait.
What?
No questions on Tipsy? He's quiet.
Well, no, I have nothing to say, man. Just letting Chief doing his thing.
Okay. Well, nice seeing you guys. I think Danny had more time than me. I'm just surprised about that.
Oh my god.
Kind of feeling a bit jealous, but yeah, okay. Let's get Cody here.
Okay, bye. So just for a moment.
I'm just sitting vibing, just listening to the chat.
He wants a long interview, man. Nah, it's not happening. Not today. If he won the race, we give him more time. That's fair. But yeah, let's get to our last interviewee. It's the Mexico City fan, Cody Lawrence, some idiot.
Leaving the worst for last, I say.
The last but not least, of course. Mate, I saw your comments before the race. You said you not really had much practice for this one. We saw you in quali with the hard tires, obviously getting some track time in. Man, I have to say, I'm impressed considering what you said about not having much practice. You were up to speed pretty quickly. I even saw a fastest lap pop in on those hards at one point when everybody else was on the same tire. How did you find the track, and how did you feel about your performance today?
Well, I think there's two good sayings I could throw to the things you've said. Blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. A broken clock is right twice a day, and I put the practice in qualifying practice for y'all. So, yeah, no, I hadn't driven Qatar in literally 1.5 months. I tried running just full tank of fuel on them hard to try to get a sense of the track again, and tried some stuff on the setup. First thing I tried wasn't great. I did one last adjustment with the differential, made it better. It was always going to take quite a lot for me to get higher than 7th, I think. So, tried what I could.
Yeah, I mean,
while.
you were the only driver to go onto the softs at the end. Were you just thinking I might as well try something different there? And like, how did they feel then for that final phase of the race?
With Superman for 3 laps. They were past their best. No, there's a reason I think I was the only one on soft. I just tried to do something different. If there was a safety car or a VSC lap 18 or 19, would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
But I really needed something strange to happen. I was joking with Ara before you got in here. I was saying I'm just waiting for some guy to come out of the stands and run onto the track and throw out a full safety car. It's about all that would have been my best chance for truth. So, yeah, I think 6th is I had no expectation, and getting P6 out of it, not too bad for a field filler.
Yeah, you did all right. Yeah, and you started 15th, P6. Not too bad. It's big gains. Yeah, so it's always, I always say this, man, and I don't want to be glazing, which is the word of the week in SLR. I don't want to be glazing you too hard. But yeah, it's always a pleasure to see you on track. I feel like glazing it's got like sexual undertones to
Very
it,
much
doesn't it?
so. Very
Yeah,
much so.
very much. Okay, right. I see where we're going.
Very,
Right.
very
Okay.
much.
I'm
Yes,
thinking I'm
yes,
thinking
yes.
a glazed donut here. Um, let's change the subject quickly. Anyway, yeah, always pleasure seeing you on track, man, and look forward to hopefully you join us for a few more before the season's out. I know you always like to make yourself available. If you are able to make it on track, and yeah, today great performance from you, but yeah, we know you're capable of winning tracks, so maybe with this being a kind of newer track, it just took you a wee bit longer to get up to speed, but yeah, no doubt you'll be mixing it up with the big boys soon enough then.
Can I interject with one thing?
Yep.
You said you were going to stop glazing me.
Well, you know, it depends. I'll, we'll take it to DMs maybe.
No, thanks for having me as always. I probably was. I only found out I was going to be able to drive like 15 minutes before. So,
Yeah.
like I said, not too bad. Could have been a lot worse. And you take what you can get. I don't think I have winning pace on this game, but we'll see.
We'll
Maybe
see.
if I get a chance again. It's been more busy at this time of day, so we'll see if I get to do any more. But as always, it's a pleasure to drive here. So thanks for having me, guys.
Yep, you're always welcome, mate, and love seeing you on track. So yeah, we'll speak to you soon, I'm sure. And yeah, Bob, that's it for this week. What a race! I mean, it was a bit of a slow boil initially, but that last lap, I mean, I feel like I need a cup of tea just to quench my thirst, and
That's exactly what
yeah.
I'll be going for. But we kind of knew that was going to happen, Chief, didn't we? Like we were saying during the race that whenever you have guys on such even pace, it is just it's a pit stop strat move and then last lap move really. So I mean, I'm not surprised, but I did not expect that finish. I mean, I honestly did not see Dan taking it. I did say he's within contention, but I thought it really was going to be Meepo or maybe Justin. But Dan, the man, just came out of nowhere. Of course, he did benefit or capitalize on the Justin and Meepo fight, or well, the Meepo sorry, the dive that didn't work, and then of course that last lap having a bit more battery. Man, he done a fantastic job, and he is most certainly my driver of the day.
Yep, and it's not the first time he's done that. Remember Silverstone, and there's been plenty of races this season in Tier 1 where it goes down to the wire. So to any of our viewers watching, Tier 1 brings a certain guarantee of quality races, especially quality finishes to races. So yeah, I know I'm enjoying it as a commentator, also spectating. I actually watch the races after we do them as well because they've been that good. And I'll certainly be watching this one back. But next week, it's Singapore. Totally different track, totally different challenges. And we'll see that at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for Tier 3, 2 and 1. Me and Bob will be back for Tier 1, and I think CM Punk and Babs possibly for Tier 2 next week. And yeah, that starts again on Wednesday. So thanks everybody for watching. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and we'll be back soon with more high octane action. Thanks guys.